Welcome, everybody. Inhale deeply for Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, bow your head. Offer your practice today to someone you know who needs healing, human, animal, or nature being. Visualize them, dedicate your practice to them. Namaste. Welcome, everybody. Hidra just asked me a question. He was asking about a bit of the pronunciation about the Gyatri, why there's short sometimes and long sometimes in the syllables. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. So on the practice sheet that we've got at the moment, there's two mantras. There's an opening and a closing mantra, yes? And the opening mantra is Gyatri, and the closing mantra is Triambakam, which is actually called the Maha Mrityunjaya mantra, which means the great mantra for peace. So today we're just going to concentrate on the Gyatri. Okay? So the Gyatri is one of the earliest recorded mantras in the Vedas, which are the oldest sort of known scriptures of yoga and pretty much on the planet. And so the first mantra which is written down is the mantra Om, which is the Pranayama, which is the sound of creation, all beings, all things. And then the second mantra which is written down is the Gyatri. So this is a very, very sacred mantra. And it's one of the mantras which, if you're kind of coming from a more orthodox, traditional background and training in India, like some of the ashram thing, there's a very specific meter and way that it should be pronounced. And that's the way I originally learned it. But what happens is people interpret things, people change things, and also a lot of modern, more contemporary kirtan singers who sing yogic mantras and bhajans and devotional songs, they often sing this particular mantra. And when they do, the pronunciation changes slightly. And so it's done now, you hear it repeated in quite a lot of different ways. And I've got a lot of sort of yogic sacred music, and there's quite a lot of different pronunciations. But there is a proper way of pronouncing it. And the reason that you would pronounce it in this particular way that I'm going to teach you today, which is how I was taught by Swami Taparupananda, who's one of Swami Govindananda's buddies. Some of you met Swami Taparupananda, didn't you, when he came here from India? Yeah. So he is a Sanskrit scholar, and this is the way he chants it. It's the traditional way of chanting it. And the reason it's done like this is not so much for devotion, but because the different syllables of the mantra touch different chakras in the body. And there's a whole science about this in the Gyatri mantra. People study it for years, just this one mantra, and its meaning and its significance, how it actually affects the pranic body. But that's kind of a massive subject, and I'm not an expert on that. But I can teach you the proper pronunciation of this mantra. There's a few kind of edges that tend to get smoothed off in general yoga classes and chanting. And also it's often, because this mantra is often used in Homa, where you do a fire ceremony and you repeat it 108 times, after about the 24th time, it tends to get a bit flatter. Whereas this mantra is, like I said, I'll show you how to do it the way I was taught. And also it's a mantra which is used in pranayama. So Krishnamacharya, this is one of the things that he talks about, lots of other traditions in India as well. When you get to the point where you're doing kumbhaka in pranayama, like breath retentions in pranayama, then there's different ways of counting that breath. And in the beginning, like there's people use numbers. We're not into numbers, counting numbers in pranayama, as you probably realize. But the Gyatri is a mantra which is used to measure the length of kumbhaka in pranayama. Does that make sense? So you're holding a breath and mentally you're going Om Bho Bhuva Suvaha, etc. And you know, they usually start with one is an absolute minimum. So you've got to be able to hold your breath a long time. It's kind of not basic practice, which is why I don't give it in the class. Does that make sense? But that is one of the reasons one of the things this mantra is used for, because the internal repetition with kumbhaka with no breath happening makes it go deeper into the psychic body. Are you with me so far? Okay. So in a minute we're going to pronounce it, but first, what does it mean? Om. You know what Om means. We've talked about that a lot. I meditate upon the divine source who illumines the three worlds. So in this case, the divine source is the sun. So this is a mantra which is used for worship of the sun. And often in an ashram setting, it's something that you will do when you get up first thing in the morning and the sun is rising, and you stand and you chant the Gyatri to the rising sun. It's a traditional practice, like the sun salutation would traditionally be done at that time. This mantra is also done at that time. And so Savitur is one of the names of the sun. And of course, the sun represents what? It's the light of the world. It's the giver of life and also the light of consciousness, the inner light of consciousness which resides in every one of us, every being. And then Om Bhur. Bhur means earth. It means the body. So your physical body is Bhur. And that means that your physical body is earth. You come from the earth. You're made of the earth. The combination of the earth and the sun make your body. And you're actually made of soil, aren't you, if you think about it? Yes? Am I right? You're made of soil. What do you eat? What do you ingest? So when I say soil, I mean the combination of the physical soil and water. That is the substance from which everything grows that you eat that makes your body, your Anna, as they would say in South India. Anna literally means rice, but it also is the same word that means body. Okay? So earth, atmosphere, heavens. Earth is your body. Atmosphere is prana. So the prana is the thing that animates your body. The prana is the thing that makes you live. The prana is the thing that gives you energy. The prana is the thing that you cultivate to awaken higher states of consciousness in your being. Yeah, that's the atmosphere. And then the heavens is a state of consciousness which can be attained in meditation and through sadhana, spiritual practice. So the body and the prana, which animates the body, and then the purest expression of prana, the most sattvic expression of prana, which is a pure conscious mind, that is the heavens. Are you with me so far? Yes? And so they're the three worlds in which we swim. And the divine source is what? The divine source is God in whatever form that manifests for you. Or if it doesn't manifest for you, whatever God is can be difficult for some people. if you don't want to think of it in that way, think of it as love. How does love manifest for you in the world? That is your divine source. And then we meditate upon the divine source as brilliant light. So when we meditate on something, what are we actually doing? The idea of meditating on something is that you become that thing. You get to the point where there's no separation between you and the thing, the object on which you meditate. Whether that is Shiva or Christ or Buddha or Allah, whatever it might be, nature, a rose, a gnat, a budgie, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is in which you can see the form of the divine, and you meditate on that and you choose that as your point of focus in your meditation, you become that thing. Ultimately, through meditation, you become that thing. You become completely aligned with that thing. That is meditation. So in this case, you're meditating on the divine source's brilliant light, which is the light of consciousness in the individual. That light of consciousness resides in two places. It resides in the third eye and it resides in the heart. The 2 points that we choose in meditation. Yes? Now, in the third eye, that light of consciousness, in the scriptures, it's described as the light of the full moon, like a soft white light, like a full moon. And they say, if you can't imagine that, go out on a full moon and gaze at the full moon. And even better, go out on a full moon and gaze at the reflection of a full moon in a perfectly still pond. So it's even softer. You know what I mean? That's that soft, that light. And then that's slightly different to the light that you meditate on in the heart. So in the heart, it's kind of a brighter light. In the Upanishads, it says in the cave of the heart, in the center of the body, which is the castle of Brahman, which is your own body, there is a small cave. And in the cave, there is a small shrine. And on the shrine is a small bright light. And you should want to know who lives there. So when you focus on the light in the heart, it's a brighter, small light. And it's like you're looking down into the cave of the heart. You're looking into a space which is dark. And in that dark space, there's a bright light. Does that make sense? So these are the two different points on which you visualize the light of consciousness in your meditation with your mantra. If you're in the heart, it's one way. If you're in the third eye, it's another way. May that light of consciousness, which resides in all beings, guide our thoughts and prayers. Nice, yeah? So we're guided by that inner light, ideally. Not so much by Instagram. Yeah? Okay, so that's kind of the meaning. And you can talk, this is, people do PhDs on this, on this mantra. It's like, but that's roughly what it's about. Okay? How do we pronounce it? So I'm going to give it, we're going to do it with all the syllables, which are, some of which you'll find are slightly different to even when I often chant it in the class. Call and response. Om Bua, Om Bua, Bhuva Suvaha, Bhuva Suvaha, Tat Savitur, Tat Savitur, Varanyam, Varanyam, Bhago, Bhago, Devasya, Devasya, Dhimahi, Dhimahi. Pardon me. Sorry, that's not part of it. Never eat a banana before you play the trombone. You know that. Bhago, Bhago, Devasya, Devasya, Dhimahi, Dhimahi, Diyo yona, Diyo yona, Prachodayata, Prachodayata, Om Boa Bhuvasvaha, Om Boa Bhuvasvaha, Tatsavito Varanyam, Tatsavito Varanyam, Bhago Devasya Dhimahi, Bhago Devasya Dhimahi, Diyo Yona Prachodayata, Diyo Yona Prachodayata, Om Boa Bhuvasvaha, Om Boa Bhuvasvaha, Tatsavito Varanyam, Tatsavito Varanyam, Bhago Devasya Dhimahi, Bhago Devasya Dhimahi, Diyo Yona Prachodayata, Diyo Yona Prachodayata, Om Boa Bhuvasvaha. It's that su is often missed out. Om Boa Bhuvasvaha, Om Boa Bhuvasvaha, Tatsavito Varanyam, Tatsavito Varanyam, Bhago Devasya Dhimahi, Bhago Devasya Dhimahi, Diyo Yona Prachodayata, Diyo Yona Prachodayata. Om. Let's do it once, all the way through together. Om Boa Bhuvasvaha, Tatsavito Varanyam, Bhago Devasya Dhimahi, Diyo Yona Prachodayata, Om Boa Bhuvasvaha, Tatsavito Varanyam, Bhago Devasya Dhimahi, Diyo Yona Prachodayata. He. It's he, not he. Bhago Devasya Dhimahi, Bhago Devasya Dhimahi. He. It's close, but it's actually he. Okay? I've got somewhere, I can dig it out. I've got a recording of Swami Tattvarupananda teaching it. So if I can find that, I'll put it on WhatsApp. He's a man who knows. Namaste. Come to the center of your mat. Stand in Tadasana. Lift the chest and gaze down, raise awareness in the heart. Ujjayi breathing. Hasta Vinyasas. Inhale, arms wide and overhead. Flip your palms. Lift your chest Look into your heart. Keep the spine long. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, widen overhead. And exhale. Same thing. Try to think about 5 seconds up and about 5 seconds down. Looking into your heart. Try not to look around. If you can, keep your eyes closed. Your balance is good. And then next time you come up, on the exhale, bring the thumbs to the back of your neck. Palms facing up, and you fully exhale there. The end of the breath, pause, bandhas. And then when you're ready, we meet in Tadasana. And then do that one more time. And move your shoulders and your elbows back. And then inhale, come up again, do the same thing. And as you exhale, fold halfway forward, hips back, chin down, look navel. Inhale up and arch back. Same again. Come up. And last time. And pause. Inhale, arms wide like wings. And dip your chest and lift your arms. Exhale, forward, flip your palms. And then by pushing your hips back, inhale, come on. And then Tadasana. Beautiful. And then Purna Uttanasana, full forward fold. Inhale, arms overhead. You can arch back a little bit before you fold. And do 2 vinyasas like that. When you get down, you can release the hands to the floor or the feet. When you come up, you flip the palms. Keep chin down. And then the next time you go down, you stay for 3 breaths. Ujjayi breathing, please. You can take the big toes or bring the hands around the backs of the legs. You can do a little look up on the inhale and exhale, fold. Completely relax the neck. Close your eyes and look Nadi, navel. If you need your eyes open for balance, then you gaze softly at the drishti of the tip of your nose. So there shouldn't be any tension in your neck. Long exhales, short inhales. When you've done your 3 breaths, make your way back to Tadasana. And don't rush, we're all working on all of the breaths at different lengths. And then we'll do Surya Namaskar, Sun Salutation. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Short inhale. Exhale. Squat down, Utkatasana. Short inhale. Hop or step, Chaturanga Dandasana. All the way to the floor. Inhale, full prostration. Have the feet together in prayer like the hands are in prayer. Hands back, Chaturanga. Knees can be down, remember. Hips up a bit, Lynn. And inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down. End of the breath, soften the knees. Step or hop forward, Utkatasana. A little more air out of the lungs. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Lift the palms. Inhale, come up. And exhale, Tadasana. Exhale, Anjali Mudra, sorry. Inhale, Tadasana. With mantra this time. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Om Mitre Namaha. Om Ravi Namaha. Om Sri Namaha. Om Banave Namaha. Om Kage Namaha. Om Pushni Namaha. Om Hiranyagabe Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Ake Namaha. Om Bhaskare Namaha. Tadasana. So 2 things there. One, apologies, I missed out a mantra. And the second one is, remember that the mantra is chanted in the pause between the breaths and the movements. So what is happening a little bit, especially in the more challenging, like upward facing dog and Chaturanga, before I get to the end of the mantra, you're starting to move into the next movement. Okay, so try to hold that posture until the mantra ends. And during that when they're holding the posture and during the mantra, there's no breathing. So the breath is held in or the breath is held out. So in other words, that is a kumbhaka a pause after every breath and after every movement. Yeah, it's not a flowing breathing Surya Namaskar. It's a flowing breathing, stopping, breathing, stopping Surya Namaskar. Does that make sense? So when the mantra is chanted, nothing's happening. You're not moving and you're not breathing. Should we do it one more time? You got to just wait a bit sometimes. Inhale. Anjali. Exhale. Om Mitri Namaha. Om Ravi Namaha. Om Suri Namaha. Om Banavi Namaha. Om Kage Namaha. Om Pushni Namaha. Om Hiranyagabe Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Make Namaha. Anjali. Om Bhaskare Namaha. Tadasana. Thank you. Turn to the right, stand in Tadasana. Inhale, arms shoulder level. Exhale. Hop or step. Trikonasana. Inhale. Exhale, Vinyasa to the right, Trikonasana. Triangle pose. Inhale, rise. Exhale, left. Just one more time each side. Next time you go to the right, hold 3 breaths. Gaze top hand or side wall. Remember, hand can be on the small of the back if you prefer. Try not to hyperextend the backs of the knees. Push into the outside of the back foot, lift the inside of the front foot. Keep the weight out of the front arm, connecting through the pelvis. When you've done your 3 breaths, you can come up and do the other side. Remember to move the hips back a bit when you go down. Some of you are still going down into like just a straight side stretch. The hips go back a bit, and so you have to spiral the spine a little bit more. Don't overdo it, but you want that feeling. If it's too much on the, are you feeling it in the backs of your knees, Sophie? You okay? After your 3 breaths, come up, Trikonasana Sthiti, bring the hands to the waist. Look hard, take a breath. Paravrita revolve, triangle, Trikonasana. Inhale, arms shoulder level. Exhale, turn to the right, fold halfway. Arms out like wings. Don't worry too much about the person next to you. We're all friends. Inhale, come up. Feel the middle. Exhale, left. Arms shoulder level like wings. Now do that once more on the right and once more on the left. Try to push your hips back as you fold down to lengthen your spine. Work the legs and push the hips back like you would in a forward bend. And then next time you come to the right, hold the half posture, half fold. You exhale there, inhale there. And as you exhale, twist to the right, bring the left hand down, the right arm up, or the right hand to the small of your back. 3 breaths, longer exhales, twisting a little more at the end of each breath. Relax, give me your arm, just relax. Bring it that way. And just straight down, like that, it's fine. Don't bring it back too far, keep it more straight. When you've done your 3 on that side, come up and do the other side. Remember the halfway, you pause, inhale and just lift up halfway. Exhale there, then inhale to center and exhale halfway. So you've got to do the stages. Don't rush it. When you finish your 3, try to make those exhales, especially that last one, a little bit longer. Draw the lower abdomen in strong, push the hips back. And so that as you come up, you're really supported in your spine. And we meet in Trikonasana Sthiti when you're ready. Hands on the waist. In Trikonasana Sthiti, the hands can be shoulder level. Sometimes you just come back and you wait here, or you can wait here. Sthiti means the kind of hub, the state of the posture from which everything comes. Inhale, arms shoulder level. Exhale, look into your heart, keep your chin down. Inhale, as you arch back, turn your palms up, slide your shoulder blades down your back, optional look up, strong legs. Exhale, draw the tummy in, just move the hips back, 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 so your heart goes down first. Do 2 more vinyasas like that. Really try to rotate your palms up and your shoulders down at the top so you feel the stretch across the top of your chest. And exhale, go down. Ujjayi strong on the way down. Do 1 more. When you get to the bottom, you can release the hands to the legs or the heels in each vinyasa. Don't have to keep them up. And when you go down this time, stay there. Take the heels or the big toes. Inhale, do a little look up. And exhale, fold. Exhales twice the length of the inhales. Mama, Nadi, eyes closed. Or drishti, nose tip, eyes gently open. Completely relax now you're in the posture. And make the length of the exhale and the bandha at the end of the exhale. Draw you deeper into the posture if that's available. But don't pull. Relax. Relax your neck, Lauren. Look at the tip of your nose so your neck's relaxed. And make sure the weight isn't all in your heels. Transfer the weight forward so your toes are active. And then inhale, bring your hands forward under your shoulders and transfer the weight forward into the hands. Forward under your shoulders, forward, forward, walk forward until you've got equal weight in both hands and both feet. Soften the knees, exhale, hop your feet hip distance. Sit down, squat down, malasana. I don't know what it is. What is malasana? Squat pose, yeah. Hands over the heart, look navel, 3 breaths. When you've done your 3 breaths, hands to the floor, the legs go straight. You inhale and exhale, fold into the legs. Try to turn your feet parallel as you straighten your legs. And then when you're ready, arms and all the way up, and we meet in Tadasana. And then as you exhale, lower the arms, hop or step the feet together. Face front, Vriksasana tree. Inhale, bend the right knee. Exhale, knee out, foot to the inner thigh. Half lotus or wherever the foot goes, apart from the knee joint, is okay. And then inhale, float the arm. And point of focus that won't move on the floor in front of you. Get the length and keep the length as you press the palms. Om Bhua Bhuva Suvaha Tat Savito Varenyam Bhago Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yonat Prachodayata. Oh, prayer goes to the heart. The inhale, the knee goes forward, the leg extends, the quadricep engages, and the hips go back. And then the Vinyasa, place the foot mindfully on the floor. To the other side, and this time repeat the mantra for yourself mentally. And we will meet in Tadasana. If you are really comfortable in that balance and you want to take it further, then you start to do it with your eyes closed. And repeat the mantra twice. Lead and return sequence. Inhale, arms widen overhead, flip your palms. Exhale, point the fingers, stretch up. Inhale, arch from the upper back. Exhale, fold. Little inhale, Ujjayi. Long exhale, Utkatasana, squat down. Look down into the perineum until you feel it lift. That means Mula Uddiyana Bandha are on. Keep them, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing. And exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. 3 breaths. Long exhales. Eyes closed, look navel. Optional bandhas at the end of each breath. Keep the back nice and broad. Try to feel the inhale come into the back of the heart space. And the exhale go all the way down into the perineum. Your hands are a fraction wider. Are you slipping? Yeah, go back wider with your hands. That way, wider, just touch.
And try to rotate your shoulder joints a bit more that way. When you've done your 3 breaths of Utkatasana, sit down, Dandasana. Inhale, arms over the head. Flip the palms. Exhale, don't move. Empty the lungs. Round the back, inhale, roll down onto your back, arms over your head. Exhale, take rest. Hands close to the body, feet together. Switch off Ujjayi, look heart. Just gaze down into the cave of the heart. Palms are on the floor, face downward. Inhale, arms over the head, flip the palms, Tataka Mudra. Look Nadi, navel, long exhale. When the lungs are empty, flex the feet, pull the lower back into the floor, look navel, relax eyes, relax mouth. Bandhas on. When you're ready, do 2 more. You can bring the hands up over the face and change the interlock of the fingers, or you can keep the arms over the head all the time, your choice. Try to draw the lower back down and flex the feet so that the bandhas come on more by themselves. You don't have to use muscular contraction. It's more an extension of the geometry of the posture. You really relax the abdomen. Sometimes you can feel the diaphragm just floats up when the lungs are really empty, and you just feel it massaging gently, putting pressure on the bottom of the heart. Helps to improve displacement of the organs from the continual upright position that we're in most of the day. And then when you're ready, bring your arms back beside your body, take rest. Look heart. Palms down close to the body, contain the prana. Inhale, the head, flip the palms. Vinyasas for Paschimottanasana. Exhale, separate the palms, empty the lungs. And then sit up, however you can, fold over the legs. Take the big toes. First 2 fingers, take the big toes. Flip the palms, inhale, come up. Roll all the way onto your back. Exhale fully. Draw the tummy in, separate the palms, sit all the way up. Slide the hands over the tops of the feet. You can bend the knees to do that if you want. You don't have to have the legs straight. And inhale, up and back. Control your descent. The legs engaged. Long exhale, and then sit up final time. Take the outsides of the feet, 3rd vinyasa. So when you come up and back, Kali, interlock your fingers like that. And then when you come up, you have the hands separate. Then flip the palms, inhale, come up halfway, Niralamba, Dandasana, unsupported. And we're going to stay here today. Rather than bringing the hands down for Dandasana, we're going to do unsupported Dandasana with the fingers interlocked and the palms over the head. So it's just a variation on Dandasana, which Ramaswamy often gives before you move into forward bend. So you're lifting the chest, gazing into the heart, Ujjayi breathing. Then exhale, Dandasana, arms beside the hips. If you need to sit on a block or raise your seat, feel free. Inhale, bend the right knee to the chest. Exhale, knee output to the inner thigh or half lotus. I'm going to guide you through the first side. The second side, you're going to be on your own today. Good. And then inhale, float the arms over your head. And exhale. Do one vinyasa on that side. And second time you go down, hold and take 3 breaths. Oops. When you're in the posture, your gaze is Nadi with the eyes closed, navel. If the inhales are on 3, the exhales are on 6. Double it up. Bend that knee. And then so you can hold the foot. Hold it with both legs, or hands. Yeah, good. And so you're just sort of working, try to keep your head in line with your spine, sort of like there, not to the side. Inhale to here. And then long exhales right to the lower abdomen. And so just relax. So you're not trying to go down, you're just breathing. When you finish, you come up and go turn to the side. You don't want to let your foot roll out like that. Keep it upright. You turn to the right and exhale, fold inside the leg. Parabita, Janusishasana, revolved head to knee pose. Do one vinyasa there, you inhale up. And when you inhale up, remember to turn to the front and really lift out of your hips and your lower back. Try to keep that length as you rotate and fold inside the leg. It can be hand down, elbow down, shoulder down, whatever works for you. Top arm up and over. As you inhale, try to open the right side of the top lung. And as you exhale, go right down into the lower abdomen perineum, bandhas. When you've done your 3 breaths, inhale, come up, turn back to the front. Exhale, hands down behind you 10 inches, fingers forward. Pick the right knee up and put the sole of the foot on the floor unless you're in half lotus. And on the inhale, lift up. It goes back. Exhale, come down. Inhale up. Hold. Exhale, nudge the hips. Inhale into the heart. And slowly exhale down. Pick up the right knee at the end of that breath. Put the foot on the outside of the left leg. Float the arms, interlock the fingers. Exhale, turn to the right. Ardha Metta, half spinal twist. Good. Take any variation that's there for you. Keep the straight leg slightly active. Can you sit on a block, Eric? Have you got a block? That's a bit high, isn't it? Who's got a block? Okay, so we're on 3 breaths here. Your gaze is navel. And at the end of each breath, there's pause. In that breath, there's space for the mind and space in which to twist. So you want to just hold that knee like that. So it helps you to move that foot further away so you can get more upright. And then you might be able to twist. But while you've got all the weight in that shoulder and hand, you're not going to be able to twist. And you really need to be sitting on a block. Oh, you are on one. Sit on a thicker one next time. Change for a thicker one. Apart from that, it was great. And then inhale, come back to center, flip your palms. And exhale, Dandasana. Okay. Over to you. Do the other side. Yeah, so you need a little bit more height. It's going to make it a bit easier. When you do the spinal twist, you want that feeling of your spine being more vertical. If you're leaning back too much, you can't twist then. So by moving the foot forward, getting yourself more upright, don't even think about twisting until you've done that. Okay? So one of the questions I've had is how many vinyasas should you do before you take the pose? And the answer is 1 to 6. So if you feel that 1 is enough, and then you can take the pose without having to make any more adjustments and just do the pranayama, then you can do 1. But often 2 or 3 is a good number to help you settle into the posture well. But if you were feeling particularly tight, or you were struggling a little bit with that, holding that posture well, then you could do the vinyasa 6 times. So it's, in a class, I tend to give a certain amount, but when you're practicing on your own, you can adapt. If you're in a series of forward bends, then sometimes 1 vinyasa is enough because you're in a forward bending mode anyway. Maybe for the first one, you might want to do 3. First part of the sequence. Keep that up like that and just stretch. Yeah. Bend that knee. Yeah. Can you get the actual foot up? Big toe. Sorry, that's the big toe. Okay, that's fine. Okay, and that keep that you can. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I'm just trying to get you so you can hold more easily. But if you're okay, that's okay then. You can stay with that. That's fine. Yeah. And just try to keep just sliding the elbow in. Yes. And as you do that, you just open the chest up. Keep the left knee down when you lift up, Sophie. And when you come up, do it again. No, keep it in your half lotus. When you come up, try to drop the knee down. Yeah. So that doesn't stick up, it goes down as you come up. Spinal twist is 3 breaths. You want to hug the knee with your hand, Duncan. Try not to make it harder than it needs to be. And then when you finish your 3 breaths, come back to the center. And we meet in Dandasana. Very good.
Take your time if your breath is longer. Chest up, look hard, Dandasana, few breaths. Move through lead and return sequence, cross the ankles, hands to the floor. Step back or hop back, Chaturanga. Go down. No lower. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down. The end of the breath, Utkatasana. Then come all the way through the sequence to standing in Tadasana. And then go all the way back through the lead and return until you hop forward again and sit down again in Dandasana. Not only are you learning a yoga sequence, you're also learning Sanskrit. Keep going. Remember, there's the arch back in this one. Palms face forward when you do that. Try not to go quite so low, Julie Taylor, in Chaturanga. Keep this a little bit higher so your shoulders don't dip below your elbows. Don't let your feet roll out. Don't let your feet roll out, Sophie, when you do that up dog. Keep your feet in line. Yeah, go down. Then go inhale, up dog. That's it, straight feet. Don't let your feet, no, when you go back, don't twist your feet. And then come forward and sit in Dandasana. Should be straight like that. Dandasana. Paschimottanasana, inhale. Exhale, one Vinyasa. And you inhale and come up, try to keep your chin down. And exhale, go down and hold. We're just going to take 5 breaths today. Nadi, Asamavriti exhales, twice the length of the inhale. Optional bandhas. You inhale, bring the breath into the back of your heart. And the long exhale takes you all the way down through the lower abdomen, into the perineum. So where you can feel the breath moving in the spine, that relates to the prana moving in the spine. Then you're studying as you're following as we go along.
No, I'm getting lost.
You're getting lost. We're here. That's your one.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When you've done your 5, inhale, come up and do the pratikriya, the counter posture. You can bend the knees for tabletop or have the legs straight or Vattanasana, inclined plane. Do 1 Vinyasa, hold the second time. Squeeze the buttocks. Point the feet as much as you can. Hit that. And then come down. Come onto your back and relax. You do that again. Come up. Try to lift there. That's right. Shoulder blades. Try and really squeeze them. And sometimes it helps to really squeeze them before you come up.
Yeah, now come up again. Try to keep it. That's better. And then the breath can come high. Yeah? Relax in Shavasana. Feet together, arms by your sides. Inhale, arms over your head. Bend the knees, hug the knees. Cross the ankles, hold the feet, rock yourself up, come into a kneeling position. Actually stand up. We're going to do a variation of headstand today. Come into a standing position, feet slightly apart. Inhale, bring the arms over the head. So you'll notice this is, before you just do this, this is on your sheet as a variation of a headstand for those people who aren't practicing headstand at the moment. And we're going to do it together. So whether you can do headstand or not, this can be a useful posture when you're not going to be doing inversions. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. Flip your palms, chin down, lift the chest. Hips back, fold all the way. Take the big toes, bend the knees if you need to, but get a good grip on the big toes with the first two fingers with the thumb on the top of the toe. And then inhale and lengthen the spine, lift the head and look slightly up. Exhale, fold over the legs. And inhale, lift up again. The arms are straight, the legs are as straight as possible, the spine is straight, the head is slightly lifted, hold. Turn the gaze up and look third eye. So the eyes are rolled up, looking into the center of the forehead. Normal inhales, long exhales. At the end of the exhale, little pause, feel the perineum lift. Inhale through your spine. Third eye. Exhale down to the perineum. Do that for 3 more breaths. Keep the head slightly up all the time, looking to the third eye. When you've done your 3 breaths, on the next exhale, fold into the legs and relax. And when you're ready, you flip the palms and come all the way back to the top and meet in Tadasana. Chest up, chin down, look hard. Inhale, raise the arms to shoulder level. Looking into the navel, exhale, squat all the way down. Heels may rise, separate the knees. Sit down, come onto your back, relax in Shavasana. Final relaxation. Roll the head a little bit, whatever you need, make yourself comfortable. If your chin is sort of jutting up a little bit, it's good to put something under your head, a cushion or a thin block. So you keep natural alignment of your spine. Your feet are wider than your hips. Your arms are away from your body, so your shoulder blades move down. Your lungs are very open and relaxed.
You want to let your breath fade away. Release the upper palate. So you feel that your eyeballs sink slightly in your skull. Temples and your forehead relax. Release the soft palate, your tongue, the whole inside of your mouth, and the hinge of your jaw. Even if your mouth falls slightly open, don't hold onto the jaw. Let that relaxation flow down your throat into your throat pit. And then release the back of the throat opposite the throat pit. And then keep going down and release all the muscles around your heart. Heart just sinks a little bit in your chest. Relax the lungs, the left lung, and then relax the right lung. Relax both lungs and your chest. Just so passive that you're not even really breathing. Your awareness is in the cave of the heart. So your mind is conscious there. And there's a small white light. Which just holds your attention steady while the prana floods out into every cell of your body. Deepen your breath. Feet together, arms by your sides, give your body a nice stretch, and then we meet in seated posture for pranayama. Make sure you're sitting high enough. Eric, can you give Peter his block back? So it's still a bit sticky and close, so we'll do the Shitali Pranayama again instead of Kapalabhati. Left hand Chin Mudra,
Right hand Vishnu Mudra, first two fingers to palm. Chest up, chin down. Roll the tongue into the shape of a straw or push the tongue up to the roof of the mouth. Inhale, head goes back. Bring the chin all the way down to the chest as it rolls up. Close the right nostril with the thumb. Exhale, left, no sound. Just try to draw that exhale out. Not to the point of strain, but just so it's long. Inhale, Shitali. Exhale, right. A few more in your own time. So when you breathe in and bring the head back, chest comes right up. And then when you bring the chin down, the chest doesn't drop. You keep it up like it's almost like, feels like a false inhale. Continue. And make this the last one. And then when you're ready, come straight into Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. Again, on the left side, mamas are flicking the gaze, nose tip, third eye, soft palate, navel, perineum, and then as you're exhaling, heart. If you're newer to the practice, you don't have to use the mamas if they make you tense, just alternate nostril breathing. When you finish the round you're on, which is next time you breathe out of your left nostril, release the hand, pick up your mala if you have your mala, and come straight into meditation, or come straight into meditation. Choose your point of concentration awareness, either the heart or the third eye. Visualize the light. Repeat your mantra or mantra Om. Relax all the muscles in your face. Make sure your breath is completely natural. And the mantra just rides on the breath. If the exhale naturally falls a little bit longer than the inhale, it will help to keep you relaxed. Be conscious that the upper palate doesn't lift. And keep the mouth soft. Meditation is a process of returning. Every time your mind wanders, that's okay. Acknowledge the thought and then put the mantra where the thought would be. Just continue. If you're in the third eye, the space is soft white light like a full moon. It starts in the center of the skull and gradually expands to fill the whole of your head. If it's in the heart, the chest is lifted, which helps to open the cave of the heart. And then you look down into it and you focus on the bright white light. And eventually that bright white light fills the whole of your being. And now if you could actually stop repeating the mantra. And just listen very, very carefully. And then you will hear the mantra repeating itself. You just witness the mantra. You're not doing anything. Spontaneous japa. Let go of the repetition of the mantra. Release your mala and cup it in your hands. If you're in the third eye, drop the prana down through the hita nadi into your heart and ground yourself back in the body for a few breaths. Gradually deepening the breath. Keep the mala in your cupped hands and bring your hands into Anjali Mudra over your heart. Inhale deeply for Om. Om Bhua Bhuva Suvaha Tat Savito Varenyam Bhago Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace Peace Peace. Om Bulu Sakarus Bhagavan Ki Jai. Remind yourself the intention you made for your practice. Be humble, simple, tolerant, and merciful. Develop intense aspiration for the truth, whatever form that manifests for you. May you strive as dynamic yogis. Swami Shivananda. Namaste. Everyone okay? So at the end of the meditation today, where I asked you to drop repeating the mantra and listen for the mantra. So it's this idea, it's an idea which is called a japa. So japa is what we do where we repeat the mantra and roll the beads, yeah? That's called japa. But when you put an a in front of a Sanskrit word, it negates the word. So it's like japa. It's like japa without doing japa. You see? So within you, the mantra is already there. The mantra Om is the vibration of all beings, so that's already there. And if you've chosen a personal mantra, which goes with that, that personal mantra is part of your pranic body. So what we often have to do is we have to do japa to kind of get ourselves into the space mentally and pranically to be in the meditation. But as the mind starts to drop, we don't have to do anything. We just switch everything off, and then the mantra comes up by itself. You know, I was saying at the beginning of the process of meditation is you become the object of your meditation. Does that make sense? So that's a sort of like, I'm not going to say advanced, it's a development of japa, is japa. Just mantras there. Listen to that mantra inside yourself. And your mind will go completely inside. It cuts out, we are just listening, there's no distraction. Because while you're still repeating mantra, the mind is still working. Does that make sense? But the moment you stop repeating mantra, if you can switch off the mind and just listen to and the mantra comes up, then there'll be no thoughts. So maybe something to practice, okay? Next, not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday is Ashram Day. It's always quieter in the summer. I have space if anybody wants to come. All day program of everything. I did a little talk on Instagram. Did you see it? About the Ashram Day. Did you all see it? Do you all follow me on Instagram? Yeah, I'm massive on Instagram. I got more than 20 followers on Instagram. I'm massive. So yeah, I'm on Instagram, Yoga Studio Ely. Look it up. And Trish helps me with it now because I didn't do it for ages, but Trish helps me with it. So she kind of cracks the whip and I try and she says, do a video, and I try to do what she tells me. So, but yeah, so I did it and I'll probably put it on, I've got to do a newsletter, so I'll probably put it on the newsletter. Just so yeah, if you really just feel like immersing yourself for the day and practice, it's a really lovely day. So it's for anyone. You don't have to, you can be a complete beginner and come. That's next Sunday all day. And on that day, of course, we have the satsang in the evening. And the satsang is open to everyone. So even if you're not on the ashram day, you can just come for the satsang. And as long as it's not pouring with rain, it will be Homa, which will be a fire ceremony outside with chanting. So we'll do 108 mantras.